Yo, what's up guys? It's Unseen here. Hellbent released a new dev blog on the 23rd of January talking about some of the upcoming changes that will be coming to VHS. I just wanted to make a short video to talk about all the cool new stuff on the dev blog, so let's go ahead and dive in. Happy New Year! Basically just saying congrats to the community for beating the tier 3 goal for the Christmas community event, and they plan on making some new community events soon. Then we got the Happy Lunar New Year. Pretty much they had some pretty cool cosmetics that they added for the year of the rabbit for the Chinese New Year. The Lunar Lady set, the year of the rabbit costume, the Crimson Ching Shan, and the Wart's Fortune Dragon, which I really like a lot. That's a very good skin. Gameplay updates, the dynamic bounties coming in February, so get ready for better bounties. Our current fixed bounty system awards a flux bonus to monster players to help speed up the queue times and encourage more players to try the role. The new dynamic bounty system will use live matchmaking data plus individual player skill ratings to award the highest flux to roles that will result in the fastest queue times. That means bounties will change dynamically to get you in the to get you the maximum bonus flux and faster queues. Nice. Any thoughts about this? I mean, I think it's pretty cool. Especially if you're on that flux grind for something in the store, that'll help out a lot. And there are actually a lot of times throughout the day where, believe it or not, monster queues are a bit longer because there just aren't enough teens to have a decent queue. And primarily, like on US East is primarily where I play on. There are definitely parts of the day in the early to mid afternoon where it's pretty dead, sadly. And since there just really isn't enough teens playing on that specific server, so I think this will help. If people see that the bounty for teen on East is a bit higher, then more people might queue on those servers. So I think this will help overall to get the fastest games. Along with that, we have the quick matchmaking game mode. I want to skip the line and get the fastest possible queue time. Try the new quick matchmaking game mode. Quick matchmaking uses our dynamic bounty system to automatically select the monster or teen in the highest demand to get you in the game as fast as possible. Plus, you'll get the maximum flux bonus for playing the role our community needs the most. So instead of going between the servers yourself and seeing which role is offering the highest bounty, this just does it for you. So if you really don't care which monster you play or which role you play and you just want to get into a game right away, I think it's perfect. I also think that this is perfect for people who stream the game and they just want to make sure they can get games in for the stream. Also for anyone who's just playing solo and that they enjoy both sides enough to where they don't really care what they get. They just want to play. So the more people that tend to use this mode overall, I think it'll be easier for people who are like playing with their friends or playing other playing a specific monster that they want to play at that time, so that way they can get into games a bit faster, just because usually it's going to tend to be the role that not many people are just playing at the time. So it'll allow, I believe, everyone else who's grouping up with a team to get into games, which I think is pretty cool. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work. If it's going to automatically just choose the highest bounty like on the server you have selected. So let's say you have like US West, if you're just going to automatically get into the game with the highest bounty on West, or if it's like every server, so whatever the highest bounty is like on any server. There's a couple questions there, but I guess we'll have to see how that works exactly. Hints and tips. Want to take your plate to the next level? Try tips. Whether you're a teen player or a monster main, our new tip system is designed to give you situation-specific tips right when you need them. So this will be our first iteration of tips, and we are looking forward to getting your feedback on how it can improve. So I think this is pretty cute. From the devlog video itself that they made, they mentioned that it'll be a little pop-ups to help you guide on what you do next. Say if you're injured and the monster stops chasing you, the game will detect that you're no longer in a chase and that you're injured, and that maybe you should find a med kit to heal or another teammate to heal you up. Or if you're a monster who just took a stigma and you happen to be, out in the open, it'll be like, oh, you should use cover and line of sight blockers to avoid taking damage. Or if you see a specific weapon for the first time, like a shock sphere or an eye or something that a lot of new players might not know how it works, it'll give you a hint on how you can play around it and maybe how it works a little tiny bit. It seems pretty good. We'll have to see exactly how it functions, and it seems like they're really open to feedback on what tips that and hints that they should actually have on there, so that way they can add them to the future, which I think will be pretty good overall for new players. I think that also adds to the whole like proactive versus reactive kind of gameplay. This is more reactionary. Whenever something happens in the game, it gives you a tip on what you should think about doing while in a match, and I think that'll help a lot of new players understand the game, because VHS is a little bit more complicated, I would say, than other asymmetrical games. So having this system in place, I think, will actually help out new players a decent bit without having to revamp the tutorial and all that as well. So, and you can turn this on and off, I believe, from what they said as well. I think that's pretty cool too. Danger sense in testing. We've had a lot of questions about how we're combating monster ambushes, and we are currently testing a promising new solution, the danger sense. After experimenting with audio cues like ambient weapon noise, we found that adding more to the soundscape felt overwhelming, cluttered, and inaccessible for impaired players. Which is true. I do think that having more noises to track would be a little bit too much. There's already a lot to track, so I do think them going a visual route is pretty good. Seems like they listened to feedback there, because I do think that was a concern whenever they had mentioned the ambient weapon noises as well. Danger sense is a visual cue similar to the colored vignette Dollmaster sees when he is in his body. When an armed team is within 15 meters of the monster, their targeting reticle will visibly change, warning them of a potential ambush. It's a big change, but we found during the internal playtests that it works really well. In balancing the teen and monster experience, it doesn't indicate the direction of danger and feels a lot like the tension loop that teens hear when the monster is near. So yeah, I agree. Even though I would consider myself a monster main, I primarily play monster on my stream. Even off stream, I tend to play monster. And I wouldn't want them to completely destroy ambushes. I think solo ambushes are definitely really annoying, especially when you just don't know exactly where it is. I think this is definitely a good, healthy way to make the whole monster experience feel more reactionary than proactive. Because right now, to combat solo ambushes, you can do it. You just have to be very proactive. You need to have really good macro tracking. You need to have an idea of where teams will be crafting weapons. How much time has passed throughout the game. The distance, if you suspect where they're crafting at to get to the teammate that they're trying to run to. All this stuff, you have to do that really quickly in your head, and I think that's just a little bit too much just to combat that a bit. So I do think this will help a lot with that aspect. But yeah, my overall thoughts is this is great. I mean, for a long time, I do think people's main issue with Monster, especially newer and veteran players, is the fear that every corner is just a potential ambush. So to a lot of people, it's just really stressful to even just traverse the map. I will say though, like as I said, the more you play Monster and learn how macro tracking works and learn all the common ambush spots to avoid solo ambushes, it does become a little bit easier to get around. But that doesn't mean that it's a fun thing to do. So them doing this is good. I do like that they're making it more a reactionary part of the game instead of you being proactive. Pretty much anything to make Monster more reaction in the moment gameplay is a good thing. The only other thing I would suggest or feedback, I guess, is I wish it wasn't the reticle, because the reticle already changes whenever you're able to hit a teen, which in those situations it might not matter because you're going to be probably far enough away whenever your danger sense comes up. And most people probably do look at the reticle, but I think it should have another like external somewhere on the screen, like maybe near the top where the enraged text is, like an exclamation mark or something, be like danger, danger text or whatever, like something like that. I think will probably be a little better, but other than that, I think this is a pretty good change. Honestly, I could go on about danger sense and how it can affect the game a lot. But for the sake of time and the length of this video, I'm probably just going to cut it there. But if you do want me to make a follow video and you're interested in hearing my thoughts a little bit more in depth about the danger sense, go ahead and let me know in the comments. I'll actually be more than happy to make a follow-up video talking specifically about danger sense and some things that I think that it'll help with, and some things I even think that would probably not actually make the teen experience maybe even a little worse in some cases, I think. But again, if you want to hear any of those kinds of discussions, go ahead and let me know, and I'll gladly make a follow-up video on that. The performance optimization, that's great. Better frame rates, making things run smoothly is always great, as long as they fix the solar flare bug, because holy, I lose so many frames whenever someone has a solar flare still. It's awful. Like, I like the solar flare, it's a fun weapon, but my frames just die whenever someone else has it or whenever I'm playing monster. Like, I just know when someone has a solar flare out because my frames just start dying, which is also kind of weird. So I hope they fix something like that as well. The Valentine's Day, woo, love is in the air. Get ready for the Valentine's Day event on February 10th. Pretty cool. Login rewards, rotations, limited movie straight from Faith herself, I believe, which is kind of cool. Seems cute. New limited time movies. So like, yeah, new challenges. Cool way to grind cosmetics is always nice and welcome. I hope that these aren't the booster packs that they mentioned a while ago, though. I doubt it. I think this is just them, like, giving us new things to do, like, while we wait for major content updates. So I really hope that these aren't the booster packs, because that would be a little sad. But yeah, these seem cool. The Eviscerator, Team Wolf, Cyber Wolf, Wart X. You definitely watch the video. I think they have somewhere in the new movie until they show like little screenshots of it. I think, yeah, there's Cyber Wolf, there's Enter the Eviscerator, Team Wolf. I think that's it. Yeah, all the ones that they showed. Definitely recommend you guys watch that though. Best of 2022, just things rotating back into the shop that you may have missed. Always nice for people who just weren't able to see certain things. And then the overall community questions. Anomaly, they plan on having him in March. Nice, understandable, especially since they're going to have this patch drop in February. So I think the time between February and March won't feel as bad waiting for him, just because, we'll be able to play around with the other balance changes that they plan on bringing. So that way, whenever he does come out in March, it'll feel a bit more fresh. New monster will feel a bit better with the changes, and people can adjust to all those and all that. So nice. Did Kenzo get better at firebombs? No, but he's better than Tech. All right. Is a roadmap coming out soon? Lots of changes are in the works for early access, but we would like to have a roadmap ready for you soon. Makes sense. I mean, it is nice to have a roadmap for sure, to have people see, what's coming up in the future. So that's kind of nice. VHS console, we would love to have it on console, but plans to do so long term. Just need a bigger team with more resources. Yeah, I mean, this mainly honestly just relies on us, the community, to make sure that the game has good numbers and that the game does well on PC, because if it doesn't do well on PC, they probably just won't be able to even do it on console. So more Rewinders soon. We have a short list of creators that we are in the process of vetting right now. Expect a new wave of Rewinders. Spoon. Cool. But yeah, my overall thoughts. I think this blog was very promising. Danger Sense being the most exciting thing in my opinion. I definitely do think that will change up the meta and how people will play the game on both sides. They did briefly mention as well that they will be changing some crafting times and mutations, mods, and stuff. But I'm not sure if that's going to be in this patch as well. They kind of alluded to that, said that they're not going to just bring in danger sense as is. So hopefully they do things with the crafting times, mutations, and mods. I have a whole other video talking about the monster mutations and how some are just beyond awful. So I would love to see some changes or buffs to ones that aren't that good. So that's pretty exciting to see. Hopefully that is something that's going to come as well in February, even if it's just starting with small tweaks to some of them. Um, But I would like for them to talk about the booster packs. That's the only thing that I really want them to talk about. They seem to just have forgotten. I mean, a while ago, if you guys don't remember, they had mentioned that they would do something like a booster pack where it will come with like new perks, mutations, and mods to add to the game. I just think it would be an amazing way to get some small new content out consistently while waiting for bigger patch updates, and it would further diversify the meta without waiting for a new monster, a teen with the new perks coming out with them. um so but pretty much that's about it. If I missed anything that you guys wanted me to talk about, let me know in the comments. Or if you want me to talk about any other topics relating VHS, please let me know. And I would really appreciate if you guys would give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. It would really help me out a lot. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope everyone had a great new year, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.